What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over ranking our top defensive linemen in NCAA college football ultimate team on a tier list. Now, we've got S through F. S obviously is the elite of the elite. F being cards I would not use. Now, you will notice I only rank cards that are 88 or 89 overall or higher. And if you are wondering why, well, I just think, it's tough to find a cutoff point. It really is. So I tried my best to do it. And 89 is where I cut things off. Because otherwise, if you get to 88 overalls, you got a lot of guys that I don't necessarily love. Now, at the 88 overall, I really like Julius Peppers. Warren Sapp's okay. Arakpo is really, really solid. But overall, I'm just not that high on a lot of these 88 overalls personally. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And as we do dive into it, if you are new to the channel, man, please smash that subscribe button. Really do appreciate all of the support on the channel. Let's start off with Britton up first. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Anthony Britton, defensive tackle from UVA. 82 speed acceleration, change of direction stinks. Getting after the quarterback stinks. His block shed is good, but that's the only thing he is going to do, is stop the run. As far as getting after the quarterback, he literally does not do it. His speed's not good either. I don't even know how you can put this card above D tier. He might even go into F tier. I'm not a fan of the card. Arden Walker up next. With Walker, gives you a lot more. Obviously, 92 overall, 88 speed, 93 acceleration. Block shed is just a little bit low. Again, gonna get after the quarterback about as well as anything else in the game. I just wish that block shed was slightly higher because I like defensive linemen, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit, that can not only get after the quarterback, but can play the run. Arden Walker's block shed is just slightly low for me. Brian Arakpo up next. Let's compare him to Walker. Obviously, Walker is rated higher at 92 overall. However, I think Arakpo is just as good. 87 speed, better block shed, gonna get after the quarterback just as good. That's my opinion on Arakpo. You guys don't necessarily have to agree with me, but I think Arakpo is just as good as Arden Walker when you compare the cards side by side. Both cards are extremely good cards in the game. Jacob Bandes bands up next. I don't necessarily know when this card came out if I love the card. I'll explain why here. Does get after the quarterback. Pretty good tackler. Obviously, block shed is incredible. He is going to be that run stopper for sure. However, the speed and acceleration isn't that high. And I know he's a defensive tackle. That's not really what you need there. But I don't know. Is he the best defensive tackle in the game? I think there are guys that can compete with him at least, but I am going to go A tier with Bandes. I think he's solid. Mangelson up next. Blake Mangelson. I think this card is underrated, honestly. Now, here's the problem with the card is block shed is not great. But as far as a defensive tackle, his acceleration is fantastic. He's going to get after the quarterback. I think, would I rather have a pass rusher or a run stopper? I don't know. They're probably equal. But Mangelson's going to be faster at least, or quicker, I should say, than Britton. I think Mangelson's better than Britton. I'm going to go C tier with Mangelson. Dylan Stewart up next. I will hype up Dylan Stewart until I can't hype this card up anymore. I genuinely will. The fact that this card was 50,000 coins is sickening to me. 89 speed acceleration, great change of direction, great block shed, gets after the quarterback. There is no flaws in this card. He's 6'5" as well. I don't know how people don't love this Dylan Stewart card. I think he's one of the better defensive linemen in the entire game. I'm putting him at S tier for now, and I do not care if you want to disagree. Ethan Downs up next. I just think he's another one of these mediocre ends in the game. Genuinely. I think he's fine, but he's got 85 speed, solid finesse move, or solid power move, I should say, decent block shed. He's just not as good as Dylan Stewart, and I think he's more comparable to Walker and Arakpo than he is to the level of a guy like Dylan Stewart. So, do I, hate Ethan Downs? No, I just don't think he's an elite level. Next up, Halati. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. 84 speed, 85 acceleration, really good power move, really good block shed. Even to me, this card is just as good as Bandes. Genuinely. The cards are just as good at that defensive tackle position. Curse up next. I really like Javon Curse. I think this is a card that you can play, and he's going to compete at an insanely high level. Good block shed, good speed, solid acceleration, going to get after the quarterback. I still only think he's B tier, though. We've got all of these ends that I think are the same tier. Why? Because they're not as complete as Dylan Stewart. Jared Verse up next. Am I gonna go A tier with Verse? This is tough because again, I do think Jared Verse is a good card to run. 84 speed, 85 acceleration, good finesse move, good power move, good block shed. Just wish the card was a little bit faster. I'm gonna go B tier. There are faster ends in the game at that B tier. Jack Sawyer, you're gonna be our first end that cracks our A tier, maybe even S tier. Like you want to find complete ends in the game. Jack Sawyer is exactly that. 88 speed, 85 acceleration, gonna get after the quarterback, great block shed. Jack Sawyer is S tier in my opinion. James Pierce Jr., you're S tier as well. And so we might have to change some things around because James Pierce Jr. does something better than anybody else in the game, and that's get after the quarterback. There's nobody that gets after the quarterback with this speed, acceleration, quick jump, if you want to put it on it, better than James Pierce Jr. Meanwhile, his change of direction and block shed's elite as well. He is for sure S tier. Josiah Stewart, I've not really looked at this card in a very long time. The card, you guys see 85 speed, 86 acceleration, decent at everything. The block shed's a little bit low. I'm going to go C tier, not the worst. Kamon Rucker up next, 91 overall. But this is the bad part about a guy like Rucker. He's an A, 91 overall, but I know deep down he's not better than Dylan Stewart. However, I like him quite a bit. Good speed acceleration, solid getting after the quarterback, decent block shed. I like Rucker enough to put him at A tier. I think the card is a complete end in the game. Landon Jackson, you can get the guy for absolutely free if you want to use your trophies on the card. I didn't, but I don't hate this card. Better playing the run than the pass. Not going to get after the quarterback that well. He is still B tier though because of solid speed and acceleration. Overton up next, 89 overall for the card. 85 speed, good block shed, not going to get after the quarterback whatsoever. It's just tough. I even like Josiah Stewart just a little bit more. I'm going to put him, honestly, I'm going to move these cards down because I don't see much of these cards at D tier. Ualungale up next. I'm not going to lie. I was watching the Wisconsin-Oregon game, and I'm pretty sure this guy got a big-time sack in the fourth quarter. 89 speed, 90 acceleration. Power move, not great. Finesse move, not great. Block shed is fantastic. So, going to be a better run stopper than he is in the pass game. But the card is overall B tier caliber. Quinnen Williams up next. He's A tier. Look, Quinnen Williams is just a solid defensive tackle that you guys can trust. I mean, genuinely not the fastest. I get that. But his block shed's good. Going to get after the quarterback and clog some things up. He's what you need at the defensive tackle position. 89, Quinnen Williams, not nearly as good. And I'm not hating on him because he's still okay. So has decent block shed, decently get after the quarterback. He's just not that good. And even compared to like Mangelson, it's tough because Mangelson is a lot quicker and going to get after the quarterback a little bit better. I'm going to move Quinnen Williams to D tier. I'm sorry, it's what it's got to be. Romello Height at this stage is going to be in C tier. The problem with him is his block shed, guys. And I don't hate the card, but his block shed's low. His speed's not that high. At this stage, Height, you're in C tier. Terrell Suggs, if he's not a B tier card, I'll be surprised. And I'm not, I'm not going to be surprised because decent speed acceleration, going to get after the quarterback, solid block shed. He's just not that fast. If he was a little bit faster, he might be a little bit higher. I do think B tier is the right spot for Terrell Suggs. Edwards up next. I don't know, man. You see all these defensive tackles that are run stoppers. You know what they're going to do for you guys on the field. Not going to get after the quarterback. He's slow. I know he's got a 92 block shed, but you stink. F tier. 89 Terrell Suggs. D tier. You're fine, but you're not great. Walter Nolan is great. You're going to go A tier. I absolutely love Walter Nolan in this game. To me, he's one of your most complete defensive tackles. He's a defensive tackle that actually has decent speed acceleration. I love Walter Nolan. A tier. YA Black, I think C tier is probably the right spot for him. He is a guy that, is going to be okay for you guys on the field, but he's not great. Like, gets after the quarterback decently. Block shed decent. He's just a little bit slow. I'm gassing him by putting him in C tier. He's D tier, honestly. Zach Swanson up next. I'll be the first to say I don't like Swanson as much as Nolan or Quinnen Williams, but I don't think the card is bad. Just because I don't love him, I don't think he's bad, but, decent block shed. Slow. I know his acceleration is good, but I've got to go B tier. I like Walter Nolan and Quinnen Williams just a little bit more. That's going to wrap it up for our defensive lineman tier list today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe here. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.